Exciting stuff. All right. Next one up, we have Jeremy here. So Jeremy used to come to many of our Foresight workshops, and then for a while he dropped off the face of the earth. You can ask him later why that was. But he is very back with a really, really, really exciting proposal. I'm so excited to have you here.
And the simplest slides I could come up with.
The simplest slides, I already saw them. They're wonderful. I love them. So thank you so much for joining, Jeremy. The stage is yours. Take it away.
Thank you, Allison. So for almost everybody who doesn't know me, my name is Jeremy Barton. I have a PhD in physical chemistry, an undergrad in molecular biology, and I read Engines of Creation at age 14 and decided it was time to actually try and do that. I figured by the time I finished my PhD, there would be a place to actually do that, and I was wrong. Except I wasn't. For the last 15 years, I've been in a stealth startup trying to do atomically precise manufacturing. In January, half my team was laid off, including me, which means I get to actually try and do it the way I think we need to do it. I believe we need something new. So I'm going to reuse one of the graphics that Foresight has used for decades. This is all human knowledge in a reduced dimension form. Molecular nanotech is not quite within that scope, but it's getting a lot closer. Academic research expands human knowledge broadly, right? That's just the nature of how our PhD construction system is incentivized. Most labs that I'm aware of say, here's the next thing, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna go there. We expand broadly, we try and target, but it doesn't always work that well. In contrast, secretive corporate research looks a little bit like this, right? I've got one target I'm going to take, but I'm not going to publish any of it. I'm going to keep it as quiet as I possibly can for a competitive advantage. And as a result, all of the knock-on learnings that other people might take your ideas and push forward don't happen. The Focused Research Organization, or the DARPA program, I believe looks a little bit like this. They push forward publicly and say, we're going to target this, we're going to do it, we're going to publish a lot, and we're going to throw $50 million at a particular effort. That's what we need. I'm delighted at Convergent Research pulling together these FROs, but their scale is 5 years and $50 million. Molecular nanotech is going to take longer and cost more, unless the AI research really accelerates things. So what I think we need looks roughly like this. We need at least 3 focused research efforts achieving molecular nanotech. And since the entire effort has to be massively interdisciplinary, ideally you want those set up in a way where they can support each other. So that's assuming we achieve that. If we do this open source and make it as broadly available as possible, once the basic mechanics for building nanomachines and designing nanomachines and validating nanomachines and improving your design model so you can build better nanomachines, once all of that is public, market forces will take it forward and fill out most of the molecular nanotech possibilities, which in turn amplify everything else we do, because this is the longest lever anybody has ever thought of to move the world. This is the physical basis of the singularity, if we pull this off. So in that pursuit, I am pulling together a nonprofit R&D registered as a public charity, pulling together an interdisciplinary research effort in this direction to build molecular nanotechnology, which is currently system agnostic. We are building a systems engineering model of the entire related set of fields: protein engineering, MEMS, NEMS, positional chemistry, DNA, RNA, there's small molecule work, Fraser-Stoddard stuff, and we are pulling together what looks a lot like a tech tree. Unfortunately, it doesn't copy-paste well onto this PowerPoint. However, I'm doing that with volunteers right now while I'm pulling off the formulate a new 501c3 with a board of directors, et cetera, et cetera. But technically, we need systems for design, construction, assembly, actuation and control, measurement and validation, and then iterative refinement. Our objective is to make all of those processes and best practices available, open source, all of the underlying programming, everything available so that you can use nanomachines to solve your problems. And despite having spent 15 years in Diamondoid, I don't care explicitly how we do it. That went backwards. So, a little bit more detail. I believe we need a centralized interdisciplinary research institute, something like the Wyss Institute, but focused on nanomechanics for machines. We need something that is building controllable motors, linkages, end effectors, etc., to build the foundational technology necessary to start the scale-up process. I anticipate once that science is clearly resolved, and there are these relatively stable engineering tools that people can use to solve technical problems without having to undergo a massive valley of death scenario, all the crazy billionaires get involved, all the big companies get involved. This is the big transition that comes after AI. But for us to do it in a way that doesn't place all the power into the hands of the few, we need to make the foundations open source and available and engage with the public, engage with public policy. Right now, we're building an integrated roadmap. We're going to push forward on an institute. I think we need more of them. And the core of that is going to be effective science communication and funding. I've been talking to a bunch of funding people. Everybody's excited. I've got a DARPA meeting next week. We'll see how it all goes, but I've been doing this for a couple months now, so I don't get to show a nice, fun research project. With that, I invite questions. Thank you.
So if you could speculate on the amount of funding needed for some breakthroughs that would propel the whole field forward, how much would that be?
Public information suggests my previous gig got about $150 million US. I speculate that's not remotely enough. My target for major breakthroughs for foundational technologies is in the 3 to 5 billion range.
Another question I had is, we saw what happened with OpenAI. They also started as a...
Yeah. So we're going to try and learn the lessons from that. Registered as a public charity. The how is, I'm interacting with the lawyers who've been watching the OpenAI thing and want to use that as lessons learned. I don't have a plan for that. That's a couple years down the road. But avoiding that is a big goal. Once you unleash the beast, the mission of the nonprofit is over, right? You cannot, you only have the illusion of control. Yes, Eric. Oh, sorry.
As you engage with public policy perspective, second question you're going to at the door after what is this? Is talk to me about the dual use capabilities there.
Amen.
How are you navigating that space?
So it's my position, and other people might disagree, that the dual use capabilities require you to have a very sophisticated molecular nanotech tech base upon which to weaponize. All the civilian applications are a lot easier. The original gray goo phenomenon pulled from an extraordinarily sophisticated, highly energy efficient nanotech to argue that it could outcompete biology and eat the biosphere. Every initial nanotech demo I've ever seen comes nowhere close to that level of efficiency. It's going to require concerted effort to get to the point where it's cheap enough that that is something even remotely possible. This is not atomic weapons. It's not easier to make a weapon than it is to make a useful technology. It's the other way around.
So you have the default benefit of being a potential sequence as opposed to a default.
Absolutely, that is my position. I could be wrong about all of this, but that's humanity. Oh, we've got one more question from Eric. Do you mind?
Yes, of course, Eric.
In the 1950s, there was a clear vision of what space flight would look like. It mobilized hundreds of billions of dollars. Do you see anything like that today? That's easy to answer, too.
No, of course not.
Might it help you raise funding?
I have immense confidence that having good pictures of what molecular nanotech systems look like helps raise funding, because I've done it before, but I can't show any of it. So yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeremy.
Thank you.